Teenage pregnancy remains a global problem, with an estimated 12 million girls giving birth every year. This often leads to girls dropping out of school, limiting future opportunities. This year's Child Protection Week comes as sexual assault against children is on the rise. Some of the incidents lead to pregnancy. eNCA's Nobesuthu Hejana is in Cape Town looking into teenage pregnancy in the country. Good morning, Nobesuthu. Now, as we mark Child Protection Week, what are we seeing insofar as the figures are concerned about the prevalence of teenage pregnancies, particularly as a result of sexual assault? All right, it seems we're struggling with Nobesuthu there. As soon as we get that connection right, we'll be going back to her. Now, the killing of 6-year-old Hejana sent shockwaves through the country. Her body was found dumped just a few meters from her home. Police are now investigating whether a syndicate is to blame for the crime. eNCA's Nobesuthu Jones is looking into violence against children and joins us now. Good morning, Bule. When you look at this particular story, it seems all indications are that there is some sort of a syndicate. But the biggest question is, how was it allowed to operate for so long, and only now these men are being apprehended?
Definitely. It seems as though police were actually monitoring whether this could have been a very dangerous modus operandi targeting particularly children. And for a very long time now, they've come to realize that they actually could be closer than what they've expected in terms of apprehending those who could be possibly behind a notorious body part trafficking syndicate that's been under their radar for quite some time. As much as that has been done, we do understand that 5 of the accused allegedly involved in the murder of Hejana have been apprehended and denied bail. The case has also been postponed, but at the very center of this, the parents, feel vindicated, and they also feel as though much has to be done by the police to ensure that they can crack the whip and that these accused are taken to trial and that there finally be some sort of accountability. But most importantly, they are also absurd about how a child could have been targeted, and they believe that their child was a statistic to this whole chaos. And of course, heinous killings targeting women and children in the province is taking place. I just wanted to take a listen to the mother who we spoke to, quite emotional as well, as she described how she didn't expect those who were close to the family to actually execute such a very horrible and terrifying criminal act.
Ngiyabati vele kakhulu ngibomakhelwane bekungibomakhelwane bami bengingabacabangeli ene vele mababuka so ngeke ubacabangeli kanti ngibo labantu lahlekisa impilo emntwanami.
All right, Pule, we'll leave it there for now. That's a reporter, Nobesuthu Jones. To this now, teenage pregnancy remains a global problem, with an estimated 12 million girls giving birth every year. This often leads to girls dropping out of school, limiting future opportunities. This year, Child Protection Week comes as sexual assault against children is on the rise. Some of the incidents lead to pregnancies. eNCA's Nobesuthu Hejana is in Cape Town looking into teenage pregnancy in the country as a whole. Good morning yet again, Nobesuthu. I hope second time is a charm. Talk to us about the figures insofar as teenage pregnancies are concerned, but more so as a result of sexual assault.
The ages of 10 to 14 years old. Well, according to the SA Medical Journal, about children between the ages of 10 to 14 years old gave birth to children with about 2,000 stats, and also 2021 and 2022 there were over 4,000 births given by children between the ages of 10 to 14 years old. And we're here in Fontaine. We're just going to speak to a parent of an 18-year-old child who gave birth last year or early this year, and she was telling me earlier when I was speaking to her that she was doing grade 10, and some of the frustrations from her side or the challenges was that she hasn't been able to go back to school due to her being a mother, and now she's even opting off looking for a job because she wants to sort of assist financially at her home. But I'm joined by her mother now. Auntie, obviously as a mother, seeing your daughter being pregnant at that age, it was quite challenging, not only for you, but for the family as a whole.
Yes, it was very shocking because I was a assistant teacher at the school, and I used to teach other children about sex. There's 2 things out of 6 for young age. Either you fall pregnant or you will get AIDS. So I learned this to other children. I don't mind, take note. But it was so shocking for me, and I was like very cross at her. But at the end of the day, I was thinking, when this child is born, what will I do? I will be there for this child, and I will be more excited. So let's get over it. And yes, the child is born now. And for her, she was a ballroom dancer. She was at school. I'm a single parent. Her father passed away of cancer 2015. And because of she's very talented. But now for this pregnancy, and she's having a baby, a lot of things has fallen down for her. And but I can say she gets a lot of support in this house of my family. Thank you for them, and me helping her, especially sitting in the night with this child. And as you know, youngsters, when they're having a baby, the baby cough, "Mommy, wat maak jy kan? Mommy, ek kan kliniek toe neem. Mommy die naaltjie, mommy die, mommy die." So now she's going to the clinic with the child. Now she's coming frustrated home. "Mommy, ek is so kwaad vir die nurse. Ek sê vir die kind se naaltjie. Sy sê vir my, en agterna sê sy vir die kind se bors soek sy. Moenie jump van die naaltjie na die bors toe nie. Vat die kind huis toe en dan kyk sy net na die kind daar by die huis." Now she is having a cough and she's concerned about it. But she was sitting down by the clinic. And what must she do now?
And tell me about the financial impact. Obviously, you do say that you are a single mother and looking after your children and some of the grandchildren here. How has that been for you?
Yes, that has been also like a disturbing because I'm not working at this moment. But I am getting a disability grant, and that is also only a temporary. But there's a lot of support. Thank you for that. We do get from our family, from my sisters, my mother help, everybody's helping. And I don't know what really to say about the financial, because why, according to me, we are not financially stable, really. And of her going back to school, it's also going to be a hectic thingy for me. Now I must see to her books, I must see to this, I must see to that. The child needs this, the child needs that. And she's actually at the moment now seeking for a job. But I tell her, no, don't go work. Don't throw up your career. Go back to school. You will have a better something. Not for you, but for your child. Go back to school for your child. But I think we will survive.
Sure. And maybe like last words from you, Auntie. What advice do you have for other parents who are currently going through the same situation that you have?
Advice from my side to the parents is don't stop praying. Don't stop talking to your children. Warn them about these things. Sexual active. Yes, it's going everywhere. The youngsters don't want to listen to the parents because you as parent give that child everything you can, but then they go behind your back, they're doing these things. And to the youngsters, listen to the parents. Please listen, because at the end of the day, whose problem is it? Mother's problem.
Thank you very much. Well, Mfundo, that was the parent of 17-year-old here in Fontein. So we're not saying her name because she has asked us not to, because she knows that people will be able to identify her daughter, at which we are also protecting her identity also. But later on, we will be speaking to a pregnancy crisis center just to talk about some of the challenges faced by the youth when going to seek for assistance in clinics.
No, that will most certainly be another important conversation around assistance in clinics for these young mothers-to-be. Nobesuthu, thank you very much for that. That's reporter Nobesuthu Hejana out in Cape Town. More news and